Good afternoon and welcome to our informative meetings for this academic year. And a special welcome to all our new families and the 160 new students to our school. This year, we're going to once again continue to focus on the well-being of our students and their health and their safety. And we're going to do this by following our COVID protocols as we did last year. And if we can, during the course of the year, we will try to reintroduce all the normal activities that your children enjoy at our school. Regarding achievements and regarding academic progress, this year I'm pleased to say that our IB students and our national students in baccalaureate achieved the best results the school have ever got. In the IB program and in the POW exams, our students' grades were way above the national averages and the world IB averages as well. It's important to note that for the first time ever, our Baccalaureate 1 students have all decided to take the IB diploma. And this, along with the introduction of more English across all 3 sections of our school, we hope will improve our results and ensure that all students in our school enjoy the focus that we have on international education. I take this opportunity to sincerely thank all our families and also our teachers for their understanding and their patience related to the difficulties we experienced with communication over the past 2 or 3 weeks. As you understand and as you know, SEC have modified and upgraded our MySEC platform, and unfortunately we've had initial issues with this upgrading of the platform. However, I am sure that in the coming weeks we'll all see the benefits of this new platform. Finally, should you have any questions or any doubts after the meetings that you're going to attend now, please don't hesitate to contact your child's coordinator or their tutor, and we'll give you a call and try and resolve any doubts that you may have. And I wish all families, all students and all teachers the best year that we can have, and that the learning continues at our school. Thank you.
Buenas tardes, familias. Bienvenidos al nuevo curso escolar 2021-22. Soy Montse Gómez, la coordinadora del primer y segundo ciclo de educación infantil, y estaré durante todo este curso junto al resto de compañeros, de compañeras que formamos parte del equipo de educación infantil, acompañándoles cada día para todo aquello que ustedes necesiten. Ahora sí, dentro de unos segundos voy a dar paso a las profesoras, las tutoras de cada grupo clase, que serán ellas las que les informarán con más detalle de las actividades que se van a realizar a lo largo de todo el curso, así como de las actividades que están programadas en cada una de las áreas, y también aspectos relacionados con las rutinas para el buen funcionamiento del día a día de nuestros chicos. Sin más preámbulo, voy a dar paso a ellas. Les quiero dar las gracias a todos ustedes por acompañarnos, por seguir a nuestro lado, por la confianza depositada con nosotros, y les deseo a todos un feliz y agradable curso 2021-22. Bienvenidos a todos. Un beso. Chao.
Good afternoon. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this Parents Information Meeting. And welcome, as I said. This is today's agenda. Today we're going to be introducing our preschool teaching team and our weekly schedule. Then we're going to talk about how the children are settling in the Rainbow class. We're going to talk about routines, about helper of the day. We're also going to talk about skills development, becoming more independent. We're going to talk about some of the coronavirus guidelines. We are also going to talk about our international program, PYP. We're going to talk about how do we teach math, Spanish, Catalan, and English. I'm also going to be sharing about swimming, psychomotricity, and music. We'll talk also a little bit about extracurricular activities, special days and birthdays. And we're going to give you a few points not to forget and how to keep in touch with us. First, let me introduce you our P3 teaching team. Miss Isabella on the left top side is our English assistant. She's going to be helping us in class. Then we have Mr. Oscar, Señorita Ivana, Señorita Sonia, which are going to be our swimming teachers this year. Ms. Nuria and Ms. Agnes are our music teachers. Senorita Monse is our infant school coordinator. Senorita Sonia will be doubling because she's going to be teaching psychomotricity as well. Senorita Ana is going to be in charge of Spanish and Catalan lessons. And my name is Miss Emma. I'm going to be the English teacher and tutor of your children. This is our weekly schedule. I'm going to pause for a few seconds so you can take a look. Music is on Mondays. On Tuesdays, we have swimming lessons. And on Fridays, we're going to have psychomotricity. All the other areas, as you can see, are most of them in English. And then we have Spanish on Mondays and Thursdays and Catalan on Thursdays as well. I'm really happy to tell you that rainbows are settling really nicely into their new class and group of classmates. They are learning to play together and they are becoming good friends. We are establishing our classroom routines, which give children a sense of security and help them get organized every day. We are going to introduce the helper of the day. It's going to be a boy or a girl who's going to be our designated helper, and he's going to have a few jobs helping the teacher and the other children. We're also going to create essential agreements for our classroom to create a sense of community. These essential agreements are going to be helping hands, walking feet, inside voices, and use kind and friendly words. These essential agreements are going to be displayed in our classroom so we can point to them or make reference to them whenever children are not using their helping hands or walking feet. This next slide talks about skills development or becoming more independent. There are a few self-management skills, social skills, and thinking and work skills that we would like to develop, and we hope that you can help us with. We are expecting the children to learn to dress and undress themselves, for instance, at pool lessons. We want them to be able to put on and take off their shoes, for instance, at nap time. We want them, although we're going to be helping them, we want them to be eating using their own fork and spoon. We want them to eat a healthy diet and not use baby bottles because they're not babies anymore. We want them to learn how to blow and wipe their noses whenever they have a cold. We want them to sleep in their own room without using a pacifier, walking and not using a baby stroller. And we want them to help at home cleaning after themselves or picking up the toys. We're also going to be expecting them to say hello or goodbye when they come in or leave a place. We also want to encourage them to say please and thank you. We want them to continue helping at home with small tasks. We want them to learn to listen to other children or adults when they're talking. We want them to be able to share and take turns. And we want them to understand that they have to talk to resolve small conflicts. We're going to be using restorative practices. That means that if a child harms another child, they can help them. He or she can help the child feel better, giving them a hug or taking care of them. If this child is making a mess, for instance, in the classroom, he can help pick up, things like that. We also want our friends, our children, to be helping their classmates. Thinking and work skills. We want them to be able to tidy up after an activity or a game. We want them to listen attentively. We want them to sit down properly when they're working at the table or when they're eating lunch or snack. We want them to listen to one another when we are working in small groups of 6 or 5 children. And we want them to learn to work independently as well sometimes and finishing activities once they have started them. This is a very important slide. Learning is messy. I understand it's difficult sometimes to get rid of those stains when children come home with their shirts with stains, but learning is messy. I mean, that's going to happen. We all always or almost always try to wear aprons. They wear a bib for lunch. But whenever we go to the forest, whenever they're playing with sensory trays, whenever they're eating, they're painting, they're going to get messy. And I hope that you can understand and support this learning, this kind of learning. When they're painting, they're developing their creativity. And sometimes they might accidentally get paint on the shirt, or when they're washing their hands on their own, or when they're cleaning the tables that they've painted on. Some food might splotch on my uniform because they're trying very hard to eat independently. And when they're playing outside or going to the forest to develop their physical skills, sometimes they might get mud or grass stains. Running and jumping helps them get better with fine motor skills activities like drawing or coloring. This is a very important slide. Learning is messy. I understand it's difficult sometimes to get rid of those stains when children come home with their shirts with stains. But Coronavirus. As you all are aware of, we're still maintaining our bubble groups when we are indoors in the classroom. It's a whole group. It's 19 children in our class, so we're a whole bubble. Those children who go on the bus, who come to school on bus and go home by bus, they have to wear a mask. We always encourage them to wash their hands after using the toilet, after going outside, before going to lunch, or before eating snack. And we also use a lot of hand sanitizer, especially when they come into school in the morning, before we use classroom resources, before we go in the dining hall, after the playground. If a child has a fever over 37.1 Celsius degrees, the school nurse will call you to pick him or her up and take him or her home. Just remember that they have to spend a whole day at home with no fever before returning to school. And if your child needs to take any medicine during school time, the school nurse needs a doctor prescription with the dosage and the time when they have to take that medicine. In your child's backpack every day should be a water bottle and a mask inside a Ziploc bag. The water bottles go home every day to be cleaned and refilled. Now, at the school, we work with the IB program, in particular with the primary years program that refers to the infant school children and the primary children. Then, as the children move on to secondary school, they work with PAI, Programa de los Años Intermedios, and then when they move on to Bachillerato, they work with Programa del Diploma. The PYP is a program that has a set of learning community profile. It has 10 attributes that we hope to develop in our students. We want our students to be inquirers. We want them to be thinkers, good communicators. We want them to be caring. And we're going to be doing this through 4 units of inquiry during P3, during this first school year. The units of inquiry are This Is Me, which we're going to be doing in the first term. We're going to be talking about themselves, what makes them special, what makes them similar to their friends or different from them. We're going to be talking, the second unit of inquiry is going to be our school, and we're going to be learning about the different people who work at school, what are their jobs, their responsibilities. The third unit of inquiry is Home Sweet Home, and then we're going to be finishing with our fourth unit of inquiry, Creating Things. Each one of these units of inquiry has a central idea, has concepts, skills, agency, and the end result is for them to take action as a result of the learning. Some of the jobs, some of the learning experiences that the children will have during these units of inquiry, we will keep in their students' portfolio. This year, it's going to be a digital portfolio, so you're going to be able to see some of these examples on ManageBack. At the end of each unit of inquiry, we have a small celebration. Sometimes we can invite parents. Now, due to coronavirus, you cannot come into school, but we can do it through the internet, or we can send you pictures, or sometimes we have internal celebrations. And then you can see all the progress of your children in these units of inquiry and in their learning in general through MySec and ManageBack. The PYP in early years. These are 4 very important points for early years in the PYP: symbolic, exploration, and expression. They understand that language is the central operating system that generates and supports cognition. The learning spaces, they are safe, they're stimulating, and they are inviting learning spaces that promote exploration, wonder, creativity, risk-taking, and learning through play. Play is very important at this age. Young students' development is supported when hands-on learning is combined with student-initiated play. A careful consideration exists between student-initiated play and teacher-initiated experiences, and then a sense of belonging, those relationships. Nurturing positive relationships between home and school provides a strong basis for learning, for good behavior, for health, and for well-being. How do kids learn best? We believe that they learn best through free play and exploration time. This is a time where their play is child-directed, is directed by themselves, and it encourages their agency for them to have a voice, a choice, and an ownership of their learning, of what they want to play with, who they want to play with, and what they want to spend that time doing. And then we also have guided play, and it refers to learning experiences that combine the child-directed nature of free play with a focus on learning outcomes and adult scaffolding. Okay. Interest and curriculum-based learning experiences. Our curriculum is the PYP. And then flexible grouping as well. There are some activities that we're going to be doing as a whole group, for instance, circle time or story time. There are other times when half of the class is going to be doing, for instance, Spanish, and the other half is going to be in English class. And there are other times where we're going to be working with small groups, 4, 5, or 6 children at a time. Our learning is inquiry-based. It means that the children have a lot of hands-on experiences, and it's through inquiry that they learn. And we also value a holistic development across a variety of areas. We want to take care of the emotional, social, and emotional well-being. We want to take care of the physical activities, languages, cognitive. Okay. Now, mathematics. This year, we're going to explore mathematics through English. These are some of the strands that we're going to be exploring. We're going to be talking about numbers. We're going to be identifying numerals and number quantity correspondence. We're also going to be doing activities that develop their visual perception, for instance, identifying patterns or different things. We're also going to be developing their spatial awareness, learning about how are objects placed, if they are on or under, in and out, close or far. And then we're also going to be exploring shapes and measures. When we're talking about shapes or geometry, we're talking about 2D shapes and also 3D shapes. Circle, square, triangle. We're also going to be talking about spheres, cubes, cones. And then measures. We want them to understand that things can be long or short, that they can be big or small. How are we going to do all this mathematical work? Through manipulative activities. We're going to be using dominoes, shapes, dice, measuring tapes, cards with numbers on them, counters, lots of loose parts, natural materials. And we're going to use these resources to classify, to measure, to create patterns, to sort objects. Okay? English. Besides working with the unit of inquiry, we're also doing some letters and sounds work. There are 7 aspects in this English program that's called Letters and Sound. And it's aspect 1 is general sound discrimination, where we're going to be learning about environmental sounds. And then we're going to be learning about instrumental sounds, body percussion, rhythm and rhyme, alliteration, voice sounds, and oral blending and segmenting. In each one of these strands, we have 3 aspects. 3 strands in each aspect, turning into sounds, which is auditory discrimination, listening and remembering sounds, auditory memory and sequencing, and then talking about sounds, developing vocabulary and language comprehension. This is the first step before they move on to Jollyphonics. You know that we've been working with Jollyphonics at school. When they move on to P4, they're going to start with Jollyphonics. But in P3, we're introducing this sound discrimination, rhythm and rhyme, alliterations, and we'll probably start to introduce some letter sounds at the end of the 3rd term. Castellano, configuración fonológica en expresión oral. En castellano, el objetivo es ayudar a los alumnos a entender que el habla no es un continuo, sino que es un conjunto de segmentos, fonemas, sílabas, palabras y frases. Desarrollar la conciencia léxica manipulando palabras dentro del contexto de la frase. ¿Cuáles son algunos de los aspectos importantes? La respiración. Ellos realizan un montón de ejercicios de respiración, onomatopeyas, la expresión oral, el desarrollo de las habilidades para una buena base de preparación a la lectoescritura, percepción, audición, establecer conexiones entre las palabras, palabras largas, palabras cortas, sonidos que son muy similares, sonidos iniciales, sonidos finales. Y algunos de los materiales que utilizan en la clase de castellano para trabajar la consideración fonológica y la expresión oral son cañitas de plástico para todo el trabajo de respiración y de soplo, confeti, material fungible, audios, vídeos y también alguna ficha o alguna actividad plástica que pueden preparar las profesoras. En este caso, la señorita Ana o la señorita Ana, quien les dará las clases de castellano. Además, también trabajarán la expresión oral a través de cuentos, poemas, refranes y costumbres tradicionales. En català, la senyoreta Anna serà la professora de català i de castellà i en català aprendran de la cultura i les tradicions locals. I realitzaran diferents activitats per treballar, sobretot el desenvolupament del llenguatge oral en català, amb suport d'algunes titelles que la senyoreta Anna els hi diu pessigolles. Són unes petites titelles de dit i si el vostre fill o la vostra filla us comenten que han vist el pessigolles, que sapigueu que són aquests petits animalons que la senyoreta Anna utilitza per animar els alumnes a desenvolupar el llenguatge. També estaran treballant amb uns contes. Aquests contes fan suport a les unitats d'indagació que els hem comentat anteriorment. Els 3 porquets, per exemple, apoyarà o farà suport a la unitat de Creando Coses, de Creating Things. El Joan Brut ens ajudarà també amb alguna de les unitats i el Patufet la treballarà en el primer trimestre i farà de suport a la unitat de This is me. Este soy yo. També celebraran diferents festes populars, com per exemple la castanyada, ara a la tardor, el tió, quan arribi el Nadal, Carnaval, la Vella Quaresma, la Mona de Pasqua i Sant Jordi, entre d'altres. Psychomotricity. Senyoreta Sonia is going to be the psychomotricity teacher, as well as one of the swimming teachers, and children are going to need non-slippery socks. The psychomotricity activity is going to take place on Fridays. And then swimming. Swimming is going to be on Tuesdays. Children, because they have their swimming lesson in the morning, should come in wearing their swimsuit underneath the uniform. But don't forget to pack their underwear in their swimming bag. And children are going to need the swimsuit, a silicone swimming... Oh, I missed an S, sorry. A swimming cap, swimming socks, and then Crocs. And also a towel. We're going to start our swimming lessons by having half of the group doing their first swimming lesson on one week and the other half on another week. So, on Tuesday, September 28th, the first half of the group, I will tell you which students they are, will go to the pool for their first swimming lesson, and the other half of the students of the group will go to psychomotricity. The next Tuesday, October 5th, it's going to be the other way around. The second half of the group is going to go to the pool, and the first half of the group is going to go to psychomotricity. The first day that they're going to have swimming together is going to be on October 19th, because October 12th is a no-school day. Okay? Music. The music teachers are Miss Nuria and Miss Agnes, and children will have music on Monday mornings. Extracurricular activities. Almost all of you have already signed up this form, fill in this form and send it to catalunya@sec.es. But if you haven't, please do. And we will organize the children in their different activities, and we will create these little cards that the children will wear so they will know what activity they have each day. If you have any questions or if you have any queries, please reach out to the coordinators of the different extracurricular schools, okay? Just a quick note to let you know. If your girl or your boy is doing ballet, they're going to need a maillot de tirante fino rosa, pink tights, and pink ballet shoes. If they're going to be doing educachev, they're going to need a cooking apron and a Tupperware. If they're doing multi-sports, hockey, or modern dance, they don't need anything. If they're going to be going to skating, they're going to need skates that are 2 shoe sizes bigger. If they go to arts and crafts, they're going to be needing an apron or an old t-shirt to wear on top of the uniform. And if they go to martial arts or music, they don't need any materials. If you have any other questions, you can send an email to this extracurricular schools coordinator. The star of the week. Each week, one of the students will be our star of the week. He or she will share photos of special memories with the rest of the class for 1 week. They can also bring a special toy or some object that they would like to share with their friends. We're going to start this activity in October as part of the unit of inquiry, This is Me. And parents will prepare a short activity, for instance, read a story, a puppet show, you can do a dance, or you can sing, or you can prepare a PowerPoint presentation, or anything you can think of. And you're going to share it online on Fridays from 10:30 to 10:45 on Microsoft Teams. Unfortunately, due to COVID, we cannot welcome you in, and we're going to do it through the internet. If you haven't signed up for this activity yet, please get in touch with me, and we will try to find a week for your child to be the star of the week. Special dates on this first trimester. On October 29th, we're going to be celebrating Halloween and La Castañada. And then on November 5th, we're going to have our first field trip. It's going to be a short field trip because we're going to go to La Garriga. We're going to get on a bus, and the bus is going to drive us to La Garriga, to the library, where we're probably going to be read to the story about the Patufet. And then we're going to go and play for a little while in the Patufet playground. On December 11th, we have an open day here at SEC Catalunya. Birthday celebrations. The school will usually provide a special snack, a chocolate sponge cake, and will also take into consideration special diets and allergies. We will celebrate the birthdays on Thursday afternoons. So all the children who have a birthday on a certain week will be celebrated on Thursday afternoons. If you want to send some invitations to birthday parties outside of the school, you should remember that you should send an invitation to all the students in the group. Otherwise, we cannot hand them out to our students. Things not to forget. Please be on time. School starts at 9:30 during the week from Monday through Thursday, and then 9 o'clock on Fridays. You can pick up or drop off your child at a different time at 11:15, 1:15, 2:15, or at 4 o'clock. Please label all your child's belongings, including socks and shoes. Otherwise, they get mixed up, especially when they start their swimming lessons. And sometimes it's difficult for us to know who they belong to if they don't have their label or their name. And remember that if your child has a pee-pee or a toilet accident, you should return the spare clothes on the next day. So we have them here at school in case we need them again. Children are generally not allowed to bring toys to school unless it's a soft toy for nap time, because sometimes they get lost or they don't want to share them with friends, and we don't want that to happen. If you have anything that you would like to communicate to the teacher, in this case me, please do it before 10 a.m. because we usually check the diary in the morning. We might look at it sometimes during the day, but sometimes we don't get time during the day. We will for sure look at the diary before 10 a.m. So please make sure you write those messages before 10 a.m. On Fridays, lessons finish at 3 o'clock. You have different options. Option 1 is that children that usually go on the bus, they leave and they go on the bus and get home by 3 o'clock. They leave the school at 3 o'clock. Option number 2 is that you can come and pick up your child at 3 o'clock. And option number 3 is that children can stay in an extracurricular activity, for instance, multi-sports, martial arts, or skating, and then go home by car or by bus. If you want your child to leave by bus at 5 o'clock, please make sure you talk to Montse Tous, which is the person responsible for the buses, okay? Because I know all of the buses leave at 3, but only a few buses do service at 5 o'clock, okay? And now just a little bit of homework. Please, we encourage you to foster independence in your children. Show them how to do things on his or her own and give them confidence and time to do it. We don't want to be doing things for them that they can do by themselves. And then the other homework or the other recommendation is to read aloud to your child. Reading aloud promotes language development and early literacy skills. It creates an emotional connection with your child, and it improves logical thinking skills and memory. Now, these are a few ways in which you can keep in touch. We're going to have parents-teacher conferences online on Teams in November. If you haven't made an appointment yet, please contact me. You can write me an email, or you can write a message on the diary so we can make an appointment to have our parents-teacher conference. All the information, you're going to find it through my SEC, and specifically in my SEC families, our daily diary, where you can find information about how did your child sleep, if they slept or not, how did they eat, if they had what happened at school, okay? Sometimes we do some posts also on our school's blog. Mainly it's Senorita Monse who does the blog post, and you can learn about the different activities that we do. You're also going to have information about your child's learning progress on ManageBack. We're going to, at the end of each term, you're going to have information about the units of inquiry and how the learning process is going. And you also have my email address, emma.garcia@sec.punes, if you need to send me an email. Okay? Thank you very much for listening to this presentation. And if you have any questions, just let us know. Okay? Bye.